Greetings. Hello. Wow, you guys are a lot more quiet than last time. I was expecting that. How'd lunch go? You guys feeling sleepy? No. That's why we're doing the practice after lunch, not more teaching. So you guys will be able to be awake. All right, well, let me talk about the demonstration that I'll be doing with Priyanka in just a minute, because it's going to look a lot like the demonstrations you guys are going to be doing with each other, or the practice mock sessions you're going to do with each other. So go ahead and pull out the mock session from your binder. There should be in the front. It should be either mock session 1 or mock session 2. Number 1 has only one sheet. Number 2 has 2 sheets. Because number 2 is probably going to walk you through one of the most complex things you can walk through in a Renew session. So you guys, I think last time, one of the feedback things was, hey, those mock sessions weren't very realistic. So I want you to know that this number 2 one is a little more realistic. All right, well, let me talk to you guys about what the mock sessions look like here. In your binder, it should look like something like this. So it's just the basic flow, the Guardian flow, and the God Life flow. And for the person that's going to be the recipient, you're going to have the script. You have the cheat sheet. You have the teacher's manual, essentially. And you're just going to answer with all the bolded sections after each question. You're just going to answer with those questions. Answer with those answers after those questions. And where you see an arrow is where it's cueing you that this is the place where you're going to need to go to a God Light or a guarding part, or you're going to need to go back to the main flow. That's where the direction will happen on where you need to change boxes. But you as the recipient are going to be the one that can help the helper if needed, if they're getting stuck, because you have the answers. So if they're getting stuck and confused, you can guide them. But I don't want you to just give them all the answers and make them not learn anything. They need to struggle a little bit, and that's okay. So let them writhe and feel uncomfortable, and then if they really need your help, you can give them some of the answers and help move it along. That's okay. And if you really need help after that, I'll be walking around. I can take questions as well. So it's going to look like this. The number 2 one that you have will have an extra sheet because there's a main flow section on yours. Anyways, so Priyanka and I are going to demonstrate this exact script up here. I know you can't see it, that's okay, but I'm just showing you the layout. But we're just going to walk you through what it would look like to do a part flow. And we'll demonstrate the part flow from the feeling box with Priyanka, and then you guys each will be you'll demonstrate to each other the other different variations that are highlighted in this new process. So we'll kind of cover all those things. All right, Priyanka, you can come take a seat. Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, Priyanka. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay. How's your day been going so far?
Good.
Yeah, you enjoying the training?
Yes.
Okay. I noticed you got triggered out there, so I thought you might need some help today.
Sure.
Okay.
I would love that help.
Okay. Well, let me begin. Let me pray. Sure. Father, I thank you so much for your love for us. Thank you for your love for Priyanka. And I just want to affirm Priyanka and her desire to be here. Lord, it's not easy to look at her heart, and I think that she's here doing that for you. And I pray that you'd bring healing and help for her in this time. Pray you'd help her not feel pressure. Pray you'd help her to feel completely loved where she's at. And Lord, I just pray that those parts of her heart that need healing would be seen by you and her. We love you, Lord. Amen. So Priyanka, I just want to let you know a few things before we get started, just to help set the tone of the session. Okay. But number 1, I want you to just notice if there's any parts of you that just feel resistant or unsure or guarded during the process, that's okay. It's welcome here. We can work with those. And I just want you to know, too, that some of the questions I'm going to be asking you may sound repetitive, like how and why. I may ask those questions repeatedly, but it's just a cue for you to go a little deeper and explore what's underneath the surface. But lastly, the most important thing is that we're not here to just fix you. You are loved and cared for right where you are. And I want you to know this, that you're already loved and safe. So there's no pressure.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So the first question I have for you is, or not a question, I'm just going to give you a direction here. If you could picture a time in your life when you felt loved by Jesus, even in your weakness, I'm just going to give you a minute to go ahead and just think in a time in your life when you felt that way. So if that Jesus were here in this room right now, how would he feel toward you?
Good.
Okay. So how do you feel about being here today? Is there any part of you that you feel is feeling pressure to get something right, just push through it?
Nope.
Okay. So what negative feeling are you struggling with?
I don't know. I just feel like I have to hold everything together.
So obviously, there may be more here as she puts things on the table, but let's just say she's just put a lot on the table, and this is the piece we're picking up. So I would respond with, we're going to demonstrate a part flow here. So she said, I don't know, I just feel like I have to hold everything together. That's a part feeling like it has to hold everything together. So I can just go right into, let's welcome this part of you that's showing up right now. It's deceived and is just trying to help, but I'm glad it's here. How do you feel like this part is trying to help you by keeping everything together?
It's trying to keep me from falling.
What do you think it's afraid would happen if it didn't help you in this way?
The walls of my life would collapse around me,
And how would that make you feel?
like I'm a waste of space,
And how does that make you feel?
inadequate.
So I'm going to do a posture check here as you, and I wouldn't say that out loud to her, but as you notice this part of you, how do you feel toward it?
Ashamed.
So as you can see, a posture check here brought out a reaction to that emotion of inadequacy. So we're going to do the guardian part, flow. All right, well, let's welcome this party that's showing up right now. It's deceived and it's just trying to help. Glad it's here. How do you think this ashamed part of you is trying to help you?
I think it's trying to make me just do better.
What do you think it's afraid would happen if it didn't help you this way?
That I would never be enough.
How would Jesus care for this part of you?
He would tell me this part, he would tell this part that he hates shame and never wants me to feel shame.
Would that part be willing to trust Jesus right now or just give you some space?
Yes.
Okay. So we will return back to where we were, which you were feeling ashamed. So you were feeling inadequate. As you feel that, does it remind you of anything, even if it doesn't make sense?
When I was 10, my mom was depressed, and I felt like I had to take care of my younger brother.
Does that feel familiar, that place?
No.
Okay. So how does that make you feel?
Powerless.
Why do you feel that way?
That it was all on me, and I couldn't do it.
How does that make you feel?
Worthless.
Okay. So as you notice that part of you that feels worthless, how do you feel toward it?
Okay, I think.
Okay. So I'm not really sure about that response, but I'm going to move forward just because the Jesus box may reveal if there's a guardian or God here. If Jesus were to see this part of you feeling this way, how do you imagine he might feel towards this worthless part?
He seems to expect more of me too.
Okay. What would this Jesus want to say or do to this part of you?
He would encourage me to just do better.
Well, let's welcome that part of you that believes Jesus would just encourage you to just do better. But if we brought the Jesus of Scripture, who died for you on a cross, to see this, and I may explain a little more here. Like you can color this up, Jesus who died on the cross. But if I would say, let's take this Jesus who died for you on the cross, who loves you right where you are, not needing to be better. To see this false version of himself, how do you think you'd feel towards that false version of himself?
He would hate this Jesus and push him aside, and he would run to me.
Okay. So what does this part of you now believe about Jesus?
That I'm good enough as I am to him.
Okay. So we'll go back now to the main flow. So let's ask, what do you sense this part is feeling towards Jesus right now, this worthless part?
I'm glad he's here.
How would Jesus care for this part of you?
He would tell me that I was never meant to carry this load and that he loves me even in my mess.
How does that make you feel?
Very
this part?
loved. Very loved.
Any other negative feelings in this place or any of the earlier memories?
No.
Okay. And then I would just check, how did that place feel when you were 10 and your mom was depressed? You had to care for your younger brother.
Better. Good.
Okay. And how do you feel when you came in? You said that you were feeling like you just have to hold everything together. How does that feel?
I feel like Jesus is with me and he carries my load and he loves me.
Okay. All right, so then I would just do the review box with her and, what lie did this hurting part of you believe? We don't have to go through that, but how would this deceived part be impacting your life and what truth did it hear today or realize? And if I want to do extra credit, I could assign some homework to hey, let's think about this part of you that received this truth today and that truth, if you would want to journal about that or write that down and remember that truth every day this week, that'd be a good thing for you to do.
Thank you.
All right, well, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And we'd pray and end. Okay. Great job. And I'll take that, yep. Okay, so the main goal of that was just to help you guys see how basically the part flow would work. And not that that's going to be exactly how a renew session looks. That's never usually even that simple. But that's the part flow, essentially. All right, so you guys can go ahead and, yeah.
In the experience box, you would ask her, as you feel that, does it remind you of anything? And what did she answer?
What did Priyanka answer?
Yeah, what did Priyanka answer?
When I was 10, my mom was depressed that I felt like I had to take care of my younger brother. Or my mom was depressed and I felt like I had to take care of my younger brother.
And then you asked, does that feel familiar?
Yeah.
It feels like that doesn't track.
Does that feel familiar? Well, when...
What feels familiar?
Yeah, if she were to say like an emotion there, does that place feel, the feeling you had there, does that feel familiar? Essentially is what we're getting at. So if she were to say, no, that doesn't feel familiar, then that's good because that means...
She said no, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, it was nice.
If she said it felt familiar, where have you felt that way before then? And then you go further back. Well, it feels like this happened earlier in life. Yeah.
If they just give us a situation with no feelings, it's okay there to ask, how do you feel there?
Yeah. Yep.
I have a question for your script.
Yeah.
When she said she felt like she had to hold everything together, where did you go with that?
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
That's the welcome. I just isolated a part. It sounds like there's a party that feels like it has to hold everything together. So let's welcome that part. Yep.
I'm just curious why you would do that versus if I were in an interview session, my first question I would probably ask about that is well, if you couldn't hold everything together.
Yeah, so you could ask the coping question.
Okay.
Yep.
So both of those are still available.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just explaining that if you do run into a part, that you can use the job and the fear question to spine it. But yeah, you could use the coping question and then just ask how and why, and then not ask the job and fear question. You could do that too. So there's some variability there, flexibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
All roads still lead to Chicago?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. All roads lead to Chicago. That's true. I feel like when Ben did this training many years ago, that was one of the main things that he said over and over and over again. Just relax. All roads lead to Chicago. Yeah. You'll get there. Just follow the emotion. That's most of what we're trying to do here is just trying to get them to feel emotion and follow that emotion and go where that leads. And using your intuition on where that is and where the emotion is coming up. And you got all the questions you need to ask as you go. So, yeah. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of time here for you guys to practice. Do you guys understand kind of the general layout of the mock sessions that recipient, you're going to answer those questions. If you get stuck, if the helper gets stuck, you can guide them a little bit to keep moving things along. And if you have any questions, I'll be here. Just raise your hand and I can kind of come and put out little fires here and there. But it's okay to take time and discuss this too and just try to wrap your head around it. This is a learning opportunity and we got an hour or more to do this. So if you want to take a break between the first person and the second person, you can. And then we'll try to wrap it up around, let's see, what is it, 12:35. So we can go till 1:30 or 2. Yeah. All right. And if you, let's see, does everybody have a partner? Wow, that worked out.
I need a partner. Oh, okay. Never mind.
Good? Okay. All right. Go at it. Check, check, check. Guys, we're going to get ready to go and have question and answer time in 1 minute. So just wrap up and then take a seat. Okay, how got it? Most everybody here? Well, we're going to do question and answer time, so people can come in and as they finish up, and we'll take the next half hour here if we need to. If not, that's fine. But take a little bit of time here just to answer questions from the mock sessions you guys just did, or if you have any questions from what we've talked about earlier, that'd be great. It's time to ask them. Okay, Ashley, I know you got a bunch. Let's go for it. Okay.
With the prep box, is that something you would do every time, or do you only do that when it's like someone new or someone that you personally have not met with before?
Definitely not every time. Definitely with new people.
Yeah.
Until they are settled in their understanding of this time as being not a time to fix it and to connect and all those things. Yep.
Okay. Let's see. What do I ask next? The fix it mentality. I feel like maybe it's just the nuance of it, but I feel like there's a balance between like, yes, we're not here to fix it, but also like, let's not just be a victim and stay in it.
Yeah.
Like, is that just a nuance that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, but also, fix it is important in the sense of like growing spiritually, becoming free of these hindrances in our emotions. But that can't be the ultimate goal. So that's the point of it, is it's not the ultimate goal. And when I say fix it, it's just a euphemism for shame in covering ourselves and trying to just make it better so we don't feel bad.
Okay. The posture check. I think it was with the second recipient. There was at one point that I don't remember the specific feeling I was posture checking, but the response was, "Oh, I feel sad about that." I guess I'm confused why that would be a negative thing. I think she had said she was lonely, and I feel like, well, yeah, if I felt lonely, I would feel sad that I was lonely, and Jesus would feel sad that I'm lonely too. Like, I guess I'm confused why that's why.
Oh, is that what I had as an example in the mock session? Sad? The posture, how do you feel towards this part of you? I feel sad? Yeah, that's maybe, I could have done a better job in picking a different one, because that could be good or bad, but usually sad is truth-based, and I think that also could just mean like, I feel compassion. But really, you're looking for kind of the same thing you're looking for with Jesus when you ask, how would Jesus feel towards this part? You're looking for something like loving, caring, wanting to help, that kind of stuff. But sadness, I think that could be something you could move forward on and not need a guardian.
Let's see. There's something in the experience box. Let me see if I can remember what it was. Oh yeah, when it asked, does this feel familiar? I guess that question seems confusing. I take it you're trying to get back to like, is there an earlier memory? But I feel like if I had said like, oh, it reminds me of this memory, and someone asked, does that feel familiar? I'd be like, well, yeah, I mean, here's all these other memories, but it wouldn't necessarily be here's an earlier one.
Yeah. So that's a good point. I might take a relook at that question and just look at different wording for that. But you're right. That's the heart behind that question, is just check for, yeah, that feels like I felt that way before. And so to word it in a way that's not stilted and awkward is the goal. But yeah, and I can understand if you don't answer the question with a feeling in it and you're asking, how does that feel? Well, I didn't say a feeling. So I can understand that there could be a more accurate way to try to get somebody back to further memories. So I'm going to take a look at that.
Maybe like, is there a place that you feel that stronger or something?
Yeah.
That would be an idea for you.
Right.
And then I think my last question is just, I'm sorry, I don't remember people's names, but someone else had asked this question as well, but the welcome language, that just feels icky to me.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't taken the time to fully articulate why it feels icky, but I don't like it.
I know.
Can I comment on that?
Pauline, sure.
I'm gonna comment on that.
Please do.
So the feeling welcome thing, I also felt icky about it. It felt very like spiritual, very new age, very like that. But I think the reason why I feel that is because like you then are put in a position, like, or that part of it is put in a position where you have to like recognize that like you do have negative emotion, like you have this negative emotion, and like it's a like you have to sit with it. You have to sit there and you have to welcome, like, yeah, you do have this negative part that you feel, and like, okay, let's address that. Because most of the time you just kind of like want to go over it, you know? Like, does that make sense? Like it's not bad to welcome the negative emotion that you're feeling now. Like you can sit with it, recognize that you do have it, and like be okay with having that, and then working through it. Does that make sense?
Maybe it's just like a preferential thing. I feel like I'd rather be told like, it's okay that you feel this way, like let's work through it, versus like, oh, this is welcome. That just makes it seem like, oh, it's a good thing. And I'm like, no, this isn't a good thing.
Yeah, so welcome. It's not supposed to carry the connotations of like celebration, but it is supposed to be like open arms. Because like with the woman that washed Jesus' feet, the prostitute that came in, like Jesus welcomed that. And the Pharisee said, "You, gross, why are we welcoming that?" And that's Jesus saying, because I love her, it's, I want her here. And so we're trying to embody that welcoming nature of Christ in our sin by saying welcome. Like you as a recipient are trying to embody Jesus by welcoming a prostitute into your awareness to work with and help. And then on top of that, when we welcome parts, we're welcoming the part, not the sin and not the lie. We're welcoming the part that is carrying a burden and not the burden itself. And so that's more splitting hairs.
Something you said earlier too was the grace and then truth. It's like you're having grace on that, like that negative part, and then also being like, you can't stay here forever. Like this can't be the thing that you like hold on to, but there's grace for you feeling this negative emotion.
Like that's the woman who was caught in adultery, and Jesus welcomed by saying, I don't condemn you, but said, don't go sin no more. So if we left it at welcome, that would not be appropriate. That would be wrong. I'd feel like about that. But since we're trying to resolve it with truth, now it's balanced.
So maybe, I guess maybe it's just a preferential thing, but if I had someone phrase it to me as like, this is a safe place to feel that.
Yeah,
That's
fine.
Or I'm glad that you're recognizing that. I'm glad that you're open,
Yes.
or you're honest, that you're being honest about that.
Yeah, if they can just feel loved there, that's the most important thing. They need to feel loved there.
I'm sorry that I don't like
And that's fine.
It's also like you were exploring too.
it. Sure.
Because
Yeah,
we
can I-
can't be, a lot of us, we don't, the nature of a guarding part is that we don't like those parts. We're protecting purposes of shame.
Yeah.
So there may be like, that's not comfortable. We want to fix these parts and move on, but that's because there might be shame under there too.
And I recognize, like, I'm a very wordy person. Like, words matter to me, and I like words to be very specific and intentional.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
okay.
I'm okay with you exploring other options for that
Okay.
in just in a warm way, whatever you need to do. Yep, absolutely. Jessica, did you want to share on that?
Well, I was just going to say, I feel like Ash's concern kind of fits into this, but I think that there is just really a mind shift. Like, for those of us who have been involved with Renew for a really long time, there's kind of this mind shift of like going from I'm combating a lie that I'm believing to I'm trying to understand my parts and understand how they feel and treat them as Jesus would treat them. So it's like we're kind of going from like, at least in my head, I'm trying to make this transition from adversarial to like trying to create peace inside of myself.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, I just don't even really think of Renew as about finding lies and replacing them with truth anymore. Because I feel like it's become so much broader than that. And so I think like the welcoming language, the kindness, the compassion, that just doesn't fit well with the framework of you're believing a lie, we need to find that lie, root it out, get the truths, in there.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just this like mind shift of, okay, my whole system is made up of all these tiny little people who believe all these different lies, and I'm trying to help all these little people in my head, and treat them how Jesus would treat them,
Yeah.
rather than I have these lies in me that I have to do war with. I don't know. It's just a very different way
Well,
of
it's the
thinking about it.
trying to beat the gold out of the ore. It
Yeah.
doesn't work. You got to melt it out with love. It's the same. We don't want to crusade against our hearts. We want to be gentle with those because Jesus already died for that sin you're thinking as an enemy you need to destroy. It's already been destroyed. So Jesus isn't up there like thinking of it as the enemy that he did when he died for it. It was then. It isn't now. Now he can treat us differently. We treat ourselves differently.
Yep.
It's gospel in the inner workings of our mind, everywhere. Yeah.
This is kind of back to the overarching thing, but I'm pulling together, maybe you said this at the last monthly Renew thing, or maybe you made this draw together, maybe I am, but in a sermon a while back, Ben Hunt was talking about, we asked, why do we go through hard things? And one of the reasons is to reveal what are the idols, reveal what are we turning to other than God so that we can be ready to turn to God faster, have a better connection, a closer connection even during the bad, ugly things. And you had said I don't know if you said it today or not, but we're not trying to just, reveal and fix the lies or get rid of the bad and negative emotions. We're always going to have the negative emotions. Just how quick are we going to be to turn to God with them, to turn to Jesus with them, and bringing that to more of our hearts, so that it's a good now I don't know my point, other than bringing those two things together, you know, that negative emotions, difficult circumstances, just having that attitude of, I just want to turn to God first and quick and connect with Him, not focus so much on what's the circumstance, what's the emotion, what's all the stuff.
Yeah. Which we can do at any moment, at any time.
Yeah.
So, you know, before it's like, well, if I'm a defeated Christian, then I have to get to this stage of free and fruitful before I can connect to Jesus? Like, you can do that in defeated too. You can do that anywhere. In fact, Christianity's made for defeated. You know, that's where God's grace is made perfect in our weakness, you know. So we don't want to send this message that you have to climb this mountain to this stage of free and fruitful before you can know His love. It's available everywhere. And I think it just takes the right emphasis on the gospel for people to get there. Yeah.
I had one other thought on sad. When somebody reports that they feel sad, I usually ask them, is that a compassionate sadness or a critical, judgmental sadness? And that's just been a quick way. Most of the time it is compassionate, but if it is a guarding part or something else, a God lie, then it is really, they know, like intrinsically, immediately know which kind of sad it is.
That's a good point. Yeah, and that would go to Ashley's concern.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, any other questions? I know this is kind of a shift in perspective on Renew Ministry. And like Jessica said, it's broadening it out. So it's not just so laser focused on getting at that lie, but just changing our hearts and softening our hearts. So that's a shift that I'm really hoping and praying you guys can embody in your sessions. And it may not look like it's a formula necessarily, but it's your posture towards them and how you communicate to them. They just need someone that's not going to react to all their stuff. They've lived their whole lives with people reacting to their sin. They are already very up in arms, you know, so we need to do what we can to disarm that. Yeah.
So when we're doing a Renew session, you would prefer for this advanced process to be the base process that we use. It's not like this is what we're moving to if the basic process isn't working. You want this to replace the basic process.
Yeah, because from now on, we're just teaching the advanced version. And then the basic version will be just kind of its own thing that doesn't require big, massive training. But that's going to be, that'll essentially replace the other process. Mm-hmm. Do you have a question, Eric?
Yes, I do have a question, but I was going to say I appreciate I personally appreciate the welcome verbiage just because on a personal level, I spend a lot of time like trying to reject how I'm actually feeling, you know, so it's like even that verbiage of, oh, okay, well, you know, it's hard to separate that sometimes, so just even saying like, okay, whatever format, whatever it looks like, you're okay, like you're welcome. It's really encouraging. But then I did have a question on the Renew, the posture check. So is that like, is the posture check, is that interchangeable with the other Renew checks as it might play out, or is it like this is maybe the go-to, this is a posture check, and then these others, the pressure check, the hesitancy check. I'm just trying to get a better understanding of that, maybe how to utilize that.
Well, I mean, if I'm missing your question, let me know. But the posture check it's embedded in the main flow, but you can also ask it whenever you suspect someone has bad posture towards anything in the process.
And maybe my question is like, depending on how it, so since it's a main flow, would you ever replace the posture check with a pressure check or a hesitancy check,
Yeah.
or should it be?
You could put a pressure check in there if you feel like you sense pressure. Yeah. That's okay too. Those checks are good to ask almost anywhere. Yeah, because they're just checks, so they're not disrupting they're not necessarily disrupting the flow. They're just like a should we proceed? Yeah, we were talking about earlier, green light, red light, just a check. Yeah. Yeah, Pranav?
This is just an example of something this is what I encountered in one of the sessions. I've spoken to you before, but it would be helpful, I think, for the sake of the group to ask it again. So I have a person that I'm meeting with who has undiagnosed OCD, and so that part that we say, let's welcome this part, she feels like she thinks the voices she's hearing is from Satan. So she was like, I don't want to welcome that part because she thinks that's not from God. And so she doesn't want to welcome that part, and she doesn't like it that I say that. So she thinks it's Satan, but it's also her OCD, or so I don't know, maybe you can give clarity on that, like how to help her. Or
Well, for people like that, it may be helpful just to say, you might have to educate them on the fact that no, OCD is a part of you trying to do something. It's trying to help you somehow. We don't know exactly how right now, but we want to explore that. So, but it is certainly a part with an agenda, and it wants to help because it's trying to protect you in a hurting place. Usually when people understand the intent there, it softens things a little bit, like, oh, okay. Like it's not trying to kill me, it's just trying to help me. Oh, I get it. I had a client I just talked to about that recently, and it's like that changed his whole perception of healing completely. It's just like, hey, that part actually is not trying to kill you, it's trying to help you. It's like, oh. So then he's listening to his stuff now. But yeah, OCD is very much it's trying to keep track of things, it's trying to measure things, it's trying to do that to stay safe. And she knows that deep down. So, there may just be some more explaining of that. And I may be adding more of that kind of explanation in the training manual so that you guys can reference things if people struggle with parts and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, I will be here afterwards. I'll be around for a little while if you have any other questions you want to ask me. But we're going to get done a little early today. That's great. So I do want to thank you all for being here, though. And I really am honored that you guys are here and wanting to take this battle to the next level. And we've done many trainings. We've done quite a few trainings, and you guys are a group that's been distilled down to those that really want to use it for what it's worth and helping people. So appreciate that. And just being here and listening and growing together. I know that you guys are on the front lines. Ephesians 6:12 says, "For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers, authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in the dark world, against evil spirits in the heavenly places." So that's what we're doing. We're on the front lines, and it's nitty and it's gritty, and I want to continue to foster a culture where we can come together and continue being encouragement to each other. Please come to the Renew meetings on Saturdays, first Saturday of the month at 6 p.m. It's just a great time to just talk about what's hard, pray for each other, because we need that. And continue to rest. Continue to rest. Just remember what we talked about today, about God's heart towards you as someone who struggles with sin. And just remember, that's what's going to help you change these habits. You just get frustrated with yourself. Frustration doesn't help them. Grace does. 2 Corinthians 5:21 says, "God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, that in him we might become the righteousness of God." And that's the foundational truth. As I said before, that's not truth to just graduate from once you become a Christian. It's truth to live in as a Christian every day. That's the truth that powers everything else in sanctification. It's a lot of truth in Scripture, a lot of really good things to meditate on, but not everything has that power. It's specifically the gospel. So get that into your heart. Whatever you need to do, make it the focus of your life to know Jesus better and what he did for you on the cross. And so I want to encourage you guys to do the homework, which is to read Gentle and Lowly, just this little green book here. Can you go forward a slide? Yep. So I'll have this up. Well, actually, if you guys want to take a picture of this right now, this will just send you to the link. Obviously, this Renew session or this Renew training is free, but if you were to pay just $15 for a book, I think that'd be a good bang for your buck for today. That's all I'm asking you to do. Spend the money, buy the book, read it, and be changed by it. Just go to Amazon and buy that.
Matt, if people use the library app Libby, it is on there as well, so you can get it for free from the
It's
library.
also on Hoopla.
Yeah.
Okay, free. There you go. It is completely free training. All right, good job on that. Appreciate that tip. And then if you want to go even further in, there's another book called Deeper that Dane Ortland wrote, and it's actually about spiritual growth and healing and sanctification. So Gentle and Lowly is actually just a synopsis of a book by Thomas Goodwin, who wrote God's Heart in Heaven Towards Sinners on Earth. And it's a little bit longer than that book. But anyways, Dane Ortland just broke it down in very simple language. And so kind of bringing old Puritan doctrine back to our culture today, which is honestly interesting that the Puritans had a really good grasp on everything I said today, but we've lost some of that in our culture because we've gotten so mixed up with fix-it stuff that, spiritual growth has become a lot of, it's just become a lot of things to do. But we've really lost what they've had a grasp on, which is grace in this God who's gentle and lowly. And so that is actually, I think, and that's why I think cultures in the past haven't necessarily needed Renew ministry to grow, is because grace just melts out sin in our heart. And so if you focus enough on it, it's going to come out. Renew ministry just facilitates that process. Okay, so then the last thing I'll have you guys do before you leave is to try to schedule just two sessions this month, the month of October, since we're almost at the end of September here. Within the month of October, I want you guys to find somebody to do Renew ministry on using this process twice. And do your best to stick to this process. And if you want to do more sessions than that, great, but I think 2 is much better than 8 to 12, which is what we've done before. So take advantage of that just to embed this into your heart. If you want to just work, you can schedule with the person sitting next to you. That might be an easy one. If you're already meeting with somebody, then just that can count. Just meet with them, use this process. And you have the little square box that I gave you, the little piece of paper. You can just check off if you scheduled a session and check off when you've completed a session. If you want to just find somebody, if you want to just work with somebody else, you can just tell them that you're just practicing a new version of the training, the advanced version, and that you want to get help in learning that with them. So then they know that you're just kind of going after them as a guinea pig, which will help them have their expectations set. So, all right, and then that QR code, if you want to go back to that, just so everybody can get that before they leave. And then after I'm done here, if you wouldn't mind sticking around and helping put chairs back and tables back, that'd be really helpful for me. I appreciate that. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys being here, and thanks for learning with me, and thanks for all your good questions and being here. I'll pray. Lord, thank you again for this time. Thank you for your heart towards us, and for just that each and every one of us is standing on the place in our life where we don't need to move from is on the gospel, Lord, the solid rock. Lord, we are always on that, and we can always go deeper into your love. And so thank you that it's just not complicated. It is not easy, but it's certainly not complicated. And thank you for giving us a book that just demonstrates your love for us every day. Pray that everybody here would grow in their understanding of your love. We would grow deeper in that knowledge, that our roots would grow down deep into it. And I pray for those that we witness to, that their love would grow down deep into your love as well, and we would see change in people's posture towards their own heart and towards each other. And we could love each other more and love ourselves more as you command. Husbands, love your wives even as yourself. Lord, I just pray we'd be gentle as you are with us. And thank you for your love. Thank you for this day. Amen.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, guys.
No meeting this Saturday, correct?
No meeting this Saturday. You guys have enough.